Hi, I'm Jay McClellan with Fortune Bay Expedition Team, and this is the fourth and final episode of our Hidden Waterfalls of Northern Ontario expedition in 2022. In the last episode, we visited beautiful Figo Falls, and then we drove up near Amy Falls and sent the drone to capture some aerial footage. In the final leg of our trip, we drive south to Geraldton, then west toward Lake Nipigon to see Cascade Falls, Gomar Falls, and Gorge Creek Falls. Then we drive back east along Lake Superior to finish at Gravel River Falls. After camping overnight along the Kawashka-Gama River, we headed southeast to Arrowland to refuel. From Arrowland, we continued south to Geraldton and then turned west toward a group of waterfalls just southeast of Lake Nipigon. This is a more populated part of Ontario, and the waterfalls won't be as hidden as the previous ones, but they'll still require some effort to reach. Cascade Falls is reached from a small parking area on Highway 11, and instead of bushwhacking, we'd be scrambling over rocks to reach it. This appears to be the entire water flow of Cascade Falls right now, so pretty minimal, but still pretty interesting. Our drone was out of commission after a hard landing coming back from Amy Falls, but fortunately we could walk right up to these falls, and they were spectacular. Cascade Falls, headed for Gomar Falls and Gorge Creek Falls. To reach Gomar Falls, we started with an easy and pleasant hike along some power lines. trail leading to the falls was well marked, and it had lots of interesting stuff to see along the way. Next, we set out to find Gorge Creek Falls. Gomar Falls is sometimes called Gorge Creek Falls, which seems inaccurate because it's not actually on Gorge Creek. The map shows Gorge Creek a short distance away with a different waterfall that we think is the real Gorge Creek Falls, and we decided to do some exploring to see what's actually there. We had to climb down a steep bank to reach Gorge Creek, where we found a series of small cascades flowing over large rocks. It's certainly not as spectacular as Gomar Falls, and it would be more impressive when the water flow is higher, but it's a pretty spot, and it was nice to find another hidden waterfall that few people take the trouble to visit. The final waterfall destination of our trip would be Gravel River Falls, and to reach it we drove down along the shore of Lake Helen toward Nipigon. Lake Helen is quite beautiful in its own right, and we stopped along the way to admire the scenery. From Nipigon we turned east and drove along Nipigon Bay on the northern tip of Lake Superior. This was one of the most scenic areas we drove through, and we stopped at several turnouts overlooking the bay and some of its many islands. We found the dirt road leading to Gravel River Falls, and it was a little rough in spots, but a fairly easy and enjoyable drive. Continuing on our side drive to Gravel River Falls, maybe. Eventually we came to some huge power lines, and the road along the power lines took us right to the Gravel River. We set up camp here, and really we'd rather not camp right under high-tension power lines, but we decided it would be okay for one night. We filtered some water from the river using our Life Straw Mission gravity-fed water purifier, and then we made up a big batch of Gravel River stew for supper. From our campsite, it was an easy walk down to the river, and then we were able to hike upriver along both sides to get some close views of the falls. Well, this concludes our Hidden Waterfalls of Northern Ontario expedition in 2022. It was a great trip, and we had such a good time that we're already thinking about doing another expedition to see more of these hidden gems. There's plenty more to explore, and we look forward to going farther on our next adventure. Thanks for watching and for sharing the journey with us.